Did you know that the oldest mine in the world isn't in Europe or Asia, but in Africa? Africa, a continent often relegated to the sidelines of history, is in fact the very cradle of humankind. From the earliest innovations to the rise of complex civilizations, its story is one of resilience, ingenuity, and profound cultural richness. This is a story told through art, architecture, music, and the enduring power of tradition. Let's embark on a journey to uncover the hidden chapters of African history, a history that predates and profoundly influences the world we know. Our exploration begins at the very beginning, the emergence of humanity itself. The fossil record speaks volumes. East Africa is home to some of the oldest human remains ever discovered. But the story doesn't end there. Across the continent, we find evidence of early human ingenuity. Consider the organized fishing expeditions in Katanga, located in the northeastern region of what is now the Democratic Republic of Congo. Here, around 90,000 years ago, our ancestors crafted sophisticated barbed harpoon points, demonstrating an understanding of aquatic ecosystems and advanced toolmaking capabilities. Then there's Bomba Ridge, nestled within the Ngwenya mountain range in Eswatini, formerly Swaziland. This site reveals the earliest known mining operations, dating back an astounding 43,000 years. Archaeologists, like Adrian Boschier, have unearthed hundreds of thousands of artifacts, including stone mining tools, proving that early Africans were extracting hematite, a type of iron ore, millennia before such activities were documented elsewhere. The story of early African innovation extends to the realm of art. Visual artifacts dating back 70,000 years offer glimpses into the symbolic thinking and creative expression of our ancestors. These discoveries challenge conventional narratives, placing Africa firmly at the center of human development. As we move forward in time, we encounter the rise of ancient civilizations, each leaving an indelible mark on the African landscape and beyond. The Great Sphinx of Giza, a colossal monument that has captivated the world for centuries, is now believed by some to have been sculpted by Africans between 5000 and 700 BC. This assertion pushes back the timeline of ancient Egyptian civilization and highlights the ingenuity of its African origins. Further south, in what is now Nigeria, the Nok civilization flourished between 1000 BC and 300 BC, although the site itself dates back even further, to around 4580 BC. This culture is renowned for its terracotta sculptures, remarkable works of art that demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of ceramic technology. The first artifacts were discovered in 1928, revealing the artistic prowess of a civilization that predates many of its more famous contemporaries. Of course, no discussion of ancient African civilizations would be complete without mentioning ancient Egypt. Its influence on the Mediterranean world is undeniable. But beyond Egypt, other powerful empires emerged across the continent. In West Africa, the Ghana Empire rose to prominence in the 8th century, followed by the Mali Empire in the 13th–16th centuries, and the Songhai Empire in the 15th–16th centuries. These empires thrived on Trans-Saharan trade, controlling the flow of gold, salt, and other valuable commodities between North and West Africa. Timbuktu, a city within the Mali Empire, became a renowned center of Islamic scholarship, attracting scholars from across the globe. Its university was a beacon of knowledge, fostering intellectual exchange and contributing to the advancement of mathematics, astronomy, and literature. Along the Swahili coast of East Africa, a unique blend of cultures gave rise to vibrant city-states like Kilwa and Mombasa. These cities were hubs of trade, connecting Africa to the Indian Ocean world. Arab, Persian, and Indian influences mingled with local African traditions, creating a distinctive Swahili culture and language. These urban centers emerged around 600 CE, driven by African merchants, exchanging local goods for items from Asia and the Near East, leading to complex political entities by the early 1st millennium CE. Great Zimbabwe, a monumental stone city in southern Africa, stands as a testament to the architectural and engineering skills of its builders. Constructed between the 11th and 15th centuries, its imposing walls and towers challenged colonial narratives that denied African capacity for advanced construction. Africa is a continent of immense diversity, home to over 3,000 distinct ethnic groups, each with its own unique languages, customs, and traditions. Oral histories, such as the Anansi tales, have been passed down through generations, preserving cultural knowledge and values. These oral traditions, often dismissed by Europeans as no history due to their preference for written accounts, are now recognized as vital sources of historical information. The colonial era brought profound disruption to Africa, with European powers carving up the continent between 1881 and 1914. The slave trade, which had begun in the late 15th century, reached its peak during this period, tearing apart communities and causing immense suffering. However, African cultures proved resilient, adapting and evolving in the face of adversity. Following World War II, a wave of decolonization swept across Africa, accelerating in the 1960s. African nations gained independence, but the legacy of colonialism continued to shape their development. In 1964, UNESCO launched the General History of Africa project, a groundbreaking effort to decolonize historiography and to give African scholars a voice in the telling of their own history. This project utilized oral sources, including folklore and traditions that had been overlooked by Western scholars, revealing transcontinental exchanges and shared identities that transcended national borders. Today, the legacy of Africa's rich cultural heritage continues to shape the continent. The 3,000 ethnic groups persist, shaping contemporary diversity in languages, arts, and social structures. Oral traditions endure alongside Islam, which has been dominant in North Africa since the Middle Ages, and resilient pre-colonial practices. The decolonization era of the 1960s, along with UNESCO's initiatives, has fueled an African renaissance, promoting culture as a means of fostering unity. The diaspora has also played a significant role, with Africanisms evident in U.S. Black culture, the Caribbean, and Brazil's Bahia, all linked to the millions forcibly displaced during the 15th–19th century slave trade. The urbanism legacy in East African trade hubs and post-colonial policies reviving heritage serve as counterpoints to colonial languages and religions, underscoring Africa's enduring cultural impact. It is also important to acknowledge the controversies and suppressed histories that have shaped the narrative of Africa. Europeans often claimed that Africa had no history before colonialism, dismissing oral traditions and indigenous scripts simply because they could not decipher them. Colonial attitudes of superiority led to policies that demanded Africans abandon their own cultures in favor of European civilization, including the adoption of European languages. Achievements like Great Zimbabwe were attributed to non-Africans in order to deny indigenous capacity for advanced architecture and engineering. Even the age of the Sphinx is debated, with geologist Robert Schoch arguing in 1991 that it dates back to 5700 BC, challenging Eurocentric timelines. While UNESCO's 1964 project aimed to counter racial prejudices, the scarcity of written sources forces reliance on oral traditions, archaeology, and genetics, sparking ongoing debates about accuracy and interpretation. Pre-colonial slavery existed but was significantly intensified by the European and Arab slave trades, a fact often downplayed in some African narratives. By reframing our understanding of history, we recognize Africa as the birthplace of Homo sapiens, a continent of innovation in fishing, mining, and art, and the builder of empires like Mali, the wealthiest medieval state through its control of the gold and salt trade. This perspective connects Africa to Eurasia and challenges Eurocentric views of world history. The story of Africa is a complex and multifaceted one, filled with both triumphs and tragedies. But above all, it is a story of resilience, innovation, and cultural richness. By embracing a more inclusive and nuanced understanding of African history, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the contributions of this continent to the world and its enduring legacy.